So we have a couple of ideas that we're going to do with Novel AI. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to try and write a children's story. But if you look, it says on the AI module right here that the theme that Novel AI is going to write in is horror. So I actually want to... Let me save some of this stuff. Save that. I want to save some of these things before I close them.
Sound alerts. Said. MR Destructoid
Oh my
and MRK
goodness.
streams. It seems like your sound alerts browser source is offline. Sad face. Make sure you've implemented the source correctly in OBS or refresh the source.
Stop telling me about it. I will fix it when I want. Alright. I'm going to open a Libre Office Writer. And the reason I'm going to do that is because I'm going to limit myself. So I get 100 characters to write what I want to write. Actually make everything smaller. Everything all at once. I'm going to kind of set it up. I think I'm going to need to set up later anyways. So that half is going to be Novel AI. Then I'm going to add a new window. And yeah, I can do that. I like my workspace, so I can see how many characters I've typed. I'm gonna put that down further. Yeah, that's perfect. Yep. Alright, so I'm going to start my children's story. Peter Panda goes trick. That says tick. Trick or so we're gonna try and keep this nice and whole. That's 34 characters. I only have 66 left. Alright. We're gonna try and keep this nice and family friendly. No one will die. There will be no murder, no blood, no anything like that. And Novel AI, every 100 characters I get to write, they get to write 400 characters. So, and they're going to be trying to make it a horror story. So Peter Panda goes trick-or-treating. It was Halloween night. And Peter Panda and his friends were all. That's all I can put. I only have 3 characters left. So I can't even put ready. This is a mistake. Alright. So, Novel AI, I need to make it in the settings to 400 characters. That's how I'm starting it. We're all in costume. Peter was dressed as a pumpkin. Jesse Puffster was Santa Claus. Being Santa Claus for Halloween is actually really funny. Junior Missy Tinklehead was an adorable little fairy princess. And Tommy Fumblebum was a giant chocolate bar with legs. They've been trick-or-treating around the neighborhood for about 30 minutes and already collected quite a lot of candy. In fact, they collected so much it was all over their faces, heads, hands, arms, torsos, everywhere except what remained inside their stomachs. Alright, so we get to add 100 characters onto that. We need to make this a children's story. This is trying to make it a horror story. They haven't gotten too much of the horror yet. Yeah, theme horror. Alright. So where do we want to take the story? Peter's bucket was as full as his stomach. But he wasn't satisfied. He decided to eat his candy, so he had room for. So he had room. So he. Peter's bucket was as full as his stomach, but he wasn't satisfied. He decided to eat his candy so he could get more. Could have room for more treats. Yes, exactly. His friends couldn't understand why Peter wanted to do this when there was still so much left, but Peter insisted on eating his candy right then and there, because he knew that kids who waited until after Halloween would be rewarded with even better treats than the one he was bringing home. Besides, it made him feel good to know that he wasn't greedy. He is greedy. They reached the house of Mrs. Strutner, who's a friendly lady who always gave them lots of candy. Everyone else knew they didn't need any more candy, but Peter snatched up 2 king-sized bars of, I don't think anymore, bars of chocolate. How long is the word chocolate? Yeah, it's too many. I can't write chocolate. Alright. Everyone else knew they didn't need any more candy. But Peter snatched up 2 king-size bars of something. Bars of Hershey's milk chocolate and 1 double-sized bar of Hershey's special dark chocolate. Although they weren't really hungry. Peter wanted to try the new flavors out before anyone else did. He thought about going back for more, but changed his mind when he remembered Mrs. Strutner calling her husband into the kitchen to help bake some cookies. That was fine by him, since they could just go somewhere else to get more candy if they needed. Mrs. Strutner was happy to see such a cute little bear at her door. Right. As Peter walked onward, he felt like he ate too much, but needed to empty his bucket. So he scarfed. As Peter walked onward, he felt like he ate too much, but he needed to empty his bucket. So he scarfed down the rest of his candy and headed to the next house. The only problem was they forgot to take off his mask. It got stuck on his nose and started getting in the way of everything, so he decided to put it aside for later. When he tried to wipe his face clean with his sleeve, he found that it didn't come off easily. He pulled harder and realized that his entire hand was covered with chocolate. Now he had no choice. He had to peel off his gloves. Alright. So he scarfed down his entire bucket of candy. And now his hands are covered in chocolate, his face is covered in chocolate. He can't really wear his mask or his gloves. Things are falling apart for Peter Panda. So far, this isn't a horror story. I'm doing a pretty good job. AI's not making it a horror story. So he took off his gloves, which made his costume look incomplete, and kept Trick or and went to keep trick-or-treating. And went to keep trick-or-treating. Close that. Turn off the tipses. Alright. As soon as he set foot outside the house, he heard someone call his name. Peter turned to see Mr. Strutner waving from across the street. His friends followed along behind. Peter was embarrassed to show his friends how badly he smeared himself with chocolate, but he said nothing about it. Instead, he told them to start trick-or-treating again, while he went to see what kind of trouble he could cause. Why is he causing trouble? Mr. Strutner watched as Peter ran away. He turned back to the group of children and asked, "What do you want?" What? I don't know what... They were baking cookies earlier. Mr. Strutner said, "Me and my wife made some cookies. Do you want some?" I think I'm gonna stick with 71 characters. If that needs to be a question mark. There's no way Peter's gonna turn. I and my wife? My wife and I. Can't leave it me and my wife. Alright. Then knit. All the kids agreed that they'd love to have a cookie or two. Strutner grabbed 4 plates from the cupboard, placing one each on the table counter, and filled them up with cookies. He served everyone while they were still having their snack. Peter slid upstairs to change his clothes, afraid that if he didn't wash the chocolate off quickly, it might stain. Once he was ready, he slipped downstairs wearing different clothing, allowed him to amuse friends without looking like things had gone through the mud. Like he'd gone through the mud. Okay. Peter Panda's new costume was a pirate captain, complete with a parrot? Oh, parrot. Parrot. On top of his shoulder. Alright. 93 characters. That's good for my contribution. Even though the outfit looked funny, Peter liked it. It was fun to wear. When they finished eating, they all thanked Mrs. Strutner for the cookies. He was disappointed to find that he'd eaten his last cookie, so he asked his friends if they wanted to go on another round of trick-or-treating. As usual, they all agreed. Boy stood in front of the first house and knocked on the door. A young boy answered the door in his pajamas. He was holding an old toy truck in his hand. Peter, assuming that was the treat, grabbed the toy truck from the young boy's hands. Peter, assuming that was the treat, quickly grabbed the toy truck from the young boy's hands. And that's 92 characters. Sending it. Before the kid could protest, Peter stuffed the toy down the side of his leg, lifted up his feet, and pretended to walk away. He was about to step over the fence. He realized that he'd forgotten to give the boy his treat. He turned around and handed the kid his prize. The kid was thrilled. He picked up the toy truck and hopped on his bike, returned to its rightful owner. What the heck is going on? Peter's friends laughed at his antics. They're so used to seeing Peter do this, they didn't realize how much trouble he was causing. What? Peter's bucket was once again full, so he decided to try to eat more candy, even though he felt sick. Alright. So it hasn't been going in the realm of horror. So I'm going to send it twice. So for every 100 characters I get, it gets 800. Wait. His stomach was growling, but he couldn't let anything stop him. He had to keep pushing his luck until he got caught. His friends noticed he was acting peculiar and tried to figure out why. After a few minutes, they finally saw his costume and figured out what happened. That stupid clown, exclaimed Timmy. You know you're not supposed to steal other people's stuff. Probably thinks he can get away with it, remarked Justin. I wouldn't be surprised if he broke the law tonight. Timmy punched Peter in the arm. Shut up, that's enough. We don't need any more trouble than we already have. Justin took the opportunity to say something nice. Don't worry, I bet your parents are going to ground you for sure when they find out. That's not nice. Peter considered telling his friends about what his mother did when he was younger. But he knew that if he told them about the time she grounded him for 2 months, they'd feel sorry for him. He'd lose a chance to mess with them. Peter's like a trickster. Peter, trying to change the subject, said, let's go to Mrs. Hopper's house. She always gives out. I need something with 5 letters. 4 letters. She always gives out cake. I just reached my 100 characters. Alright, now that they get 800 characters to... Oh no! Wait, I'll just... we're not fixing it. Because that will... This pupper lived right next door to Mr. Strutner. He was an elderly lady who loved cats. Her house was covered in cat pictures. On the lawns there were dozens of statues of cats, most of which were dressed as famous movie stars. The boys approached her door and knocked. To their surprise, Mrs. Pupper opened the door before they were able to ring the bell. was wearing a fuzzy pink bathrobe. Her hair was wet. Obviously, she'd just gotten out of the shower. Oh my goodness. You guys, let me guess. Halloween? They nodded. But you must be wondering where the cakes are. Well, my little balls have been naughty all year. I'm too tired to clean up after them. I've given up on baking for a while. You reached into a basket in the foyer and pulled out a couple of bowls. Placed them on the counter. Come in, you can have some of these. She scooped some vanilla ice cream into bowls and presented them to the children.
Puzzle has an answer.
But remember, only one bowl each. One for you and one for the kitty. Boys followed Mrs. Potter back to the kitchen. There were 4 cats sitting on the table. 3 of the felines looked like normal cats, but the 4th look was completely different. It was tall and skinny and wore a green bow tie. Its skin was dark brown and it had large ears and a tiny tail. These are my special guests, said Miss Popper. Their names are Garfield, Odie, Arlene, and Max. Okay. Boys stared at the furry creatures. Even though they were small, they seemed enormous. They're certainly not the kind of animals that children usually played with. Why don't you bring them in the living room? They'll enjoy watching the television. By the way, you should put those bowls on the floor. Cats aren't very grateful. We set the bowls on the floor and left the kitchen. We sat on the couch and watched TV with Garfield, Odie, Arlene, and Max. The boys weren't too keen on watching TV with an elderly lady and her cats. Out of the way, Heather. Hands. Cats. Peter still needed. Peter still needed. And I'll let it finish. Peter still needed to get his hand down his pants. The boys set the bowls on the floor and left the kitchen. They sat on the couch and watched TV with Garfield, Odie, Arlie, and Max. The boys weren't too keen on watching TV with an elderly lady and her cats. Peter still needed to get his hand down his pants so he could play with himself. Garfield was the first to notice his friend's condition. Hey buddy, what's wrong? Are you okay? Oh, you know, Garfield's a cat. And it's not like Peter's like a panda, but he's like an anthropomorphic panda. I think that's just a cat. What the heck? Odie and Arlene joined in. What's going on here? Over here. Asked the skinny one. Are you sick or something? Peter continued to ignore them. He kept his eyes fixed on the TV. Oh no, is it because of us? Cried Arlene. What the heck? Do you not want to pet us? Don't worry. I'll rub against your leg until you do. When Arlene was rubbing against Peter's leg, he started to cry. He was mortified that everyone found out how much he liked looking at his own body. My children's story. No. Suddenly Garfield got angry. Hey, stop it. This isn't funny. Do you think this is funny, huh? Meow. Peter wiped the juice from his face. No, it's not funny. I need to fix this. I need to get back on track. Peter stood up, sobbing, and said, I gotta go get some more candy. He went to go knock on more. He went to go knock on more. Better not say boots. Why do you put quote there as well? I like that it's Garfield got angry and said, "Hey, stop it! This isn't funny. Do you think this is funny, huh?" And they meowed. I guess this is a children's story. Cats can be pets and also meow. Knock on more doors. The boys continued to watch TV with the cats. He took turns holding them, and Garfield was the best. He was so soft and cuddly. At one point, Timmy saw Odie licking his lips. "Stop it, you pervert!" he shouted. Timmy turned and saw that Odie was staring at Timmy's crotch. "What are you doing?" he asked. Odie ignored him and licked Timmy's thighs. "No!" "That's enough," Timmy screamed. It was obvious that Odie was trying to get Timmy excited. His tongue fluttered through the air as if it were flying. "You're sick," said Timmy. "Get out of here." With that, Odie jumped off the couch and ran out of the room. The other cats didn't seem to care. They thought Odie was funny. "Good riddance," remarked Peter. Timmy returned home. He checked his candy stash. Alright. We need to get away from the cats. Peter went out to knock on more doors. His friends were done for the night, but Peter needed more. Peter needed more. Peter needed more. Timmy promised to stay in the house and keep an eye on his mother and younger brother. He knew that if he left, his parents would find out about his secret hobby. What secret hobby? After knocking on a few more houses, he heard his mother shout something. He looked up and saw her running towards the front door. He rushed outside to see what was wrong. Mrs. Popper was gasping for breath. Her hand was clutching her chest. Peter looked at his mom. She was sweating and shaking. Mommy said, "What happened?" "Your father! He died!" "Who's Nick?" Alright, let's back it up here. Then we'll randomize it. It doesn't go to the chapter. "Father, he died." Alright. This is Mr. Popper gasped as he grabbed his throat. Blood leaking from his mouth. His eyes were wide open, but he didn't see anything. He collapsed to the ground and lay there motionless. Dad? He was dead. Timmy couldn't believe it. He felt numb. A wave of despair washed over him. The shock of losing his dad was overwhelming. "Sorry," he whispered. His mother stood frozen, speechless. Just stared at Mr. Popper. Well, I feel like we've gone off the rails. How do I make this a children's story? Peter went back to trick or treating. He had to get the image of his father out of his mind. Alright, send. He couldn't forgive up the old woman who owned the house where his father died. Just thinking about her made him feel uneasy. Decided to stop by and pay a visit. It was getting dark when Timmy arrived at the old woman's house. The lights were on. As soon as Timmy opened the door, he saw the old lady sitting on the couch. She smiled and motioned to the chair next to her. "Hello, Timmy," he said. He sat down. "You know I always loved Halloween." He had such a wicked smile. Timmy wasn't sure what to say. He looked at his mother and saw she seemed confused as well. "It's okay," Mrs. Popper said. "It's just me. Father told me about you. Quite fond of you." He knocked awkwardly. "Look, dear," said Mrs. Popper. "You have nothing to be embarrassed about." And parentheses, and then she petted Garfield. She pet Garfield the cat? Not petted. Is it petted? Pet Garfield cat who was sitting on her lap. Would you like to play a game to calm down? It'll help you relax. We can pretend we are playing hide and seek. Hide and seek, Timmy replied. "Sure." Mrs. Popper stood up and walked across the living room to the wall. She picked up a painting and placed it on top of the piano. She then stepped behind the sofa. "Here goes," said Timmy. "Ready or not." Timmy jumped out from behind the sofa and yelled boo. He expected to see Mrs. Popper jump back in fright, but instead she burst into laughter. "Oh my God," she said, "that was priceless. I can't believe you did that." Timmy ran over and hugged her. "Thanks, Mom," he said. "You don't know how much I needed that." "Want to try again?" said Mrs. Popper. "Do it together this time." They both stood in the lap before they realized he and his mother were laughing along with her. As the evening passed, the two of them kept talking. Where's Peter? This has become about Timmy and his mom, and I guess his mom is Mrs. Popper. And his mom's weird, and Peter was masturbating on her couch. He's a panda. I don't know how old he is. I thought he was a child. But he's also masturbating on the couch to a bunch of cats while watching TV. Peter was walking down the street looking for a place to get more. Trying to keep on the subject of trick or treat. I'm just gonna send this. I'm only using 72 of my 100 characters. Start a new paragraph. Saw a girl walking her dog and stopped to talk to her. "Hi," he said. "My name is Peter." The girl took off her earbuds, put her phone away. She was wearing a blue sweater that matched her eyes. "Nice to meet you," she said. "What's your name?" Peter Panda. His name is Peter Panda. I'm gonna change that. Peter. Wait, nice to meet you. What's your name? Her name is Timmy Popper. Alright, we're gonna go back because we don't need another Timmy Popper. What's your name? Timmy fumbled his word. It's not Timmy! Why? Timmy's a boy, and he has a mom. And we already know Timmy. Alright. What's it? Melinda said, and we'll randomize it from here. This isn't Timmy. Let's get off Timmy. He's not even a main character. Yours? I'm Timmy. Dang it! I'm Peter Panda. It's Peter Panda. And yours? No. Timmy's not the main character. Yours, Timmy. Timmy, she repeated. Well, Timmy. Alright. I'm gonna go back. I undo. Why?
I don't understand what's going on here.
Alright. This is... I did some stuff. I'm gonna leave this. And yours, I'm Timmy, who would have guessed? Don't worry about it. Wait, I'm just gonna change this all to Peter.
Give me a break. Give me a
I'm
break.
Peter, who would have guessed? Don't worry about it, Melinda said. I mean, we all look the same. You're beautiful. Peter blushed. Thanks, he muttered. I think you look great too. Why? Because I wear glasses? Peter shrugged. Let's at least keep it on Peter. Or at least try to. Peter looked around quickly. He saw... I make the character have so many words, or so many letters in their name. He saw Melinda had a bucket of candy. He tried to come up with a way to get some from her. That's gonna think it's talking about sex. That's... Peter's a freaking... Peter's a freak. Just masturbating with cats. Can I ask you something? Wait, hold on. Yes, she said. Have you seen anyone else tonight? Who? Well, other people dressed in costume. Other kids? Yeah, like you. There aren't any other kids here. Said, not that I've noticed. How long have you been here? Since before daylight. What time is it now? 8:15. Wow, that's early. How does it feel being awake so late? Actually, kind of nice. She paused. I don't know why, but I feel safe. There's no one walking around here who looks dangerous. Where do you live, Melinda? This neighborhood. You wanted to make a joke about it, but you decided against it. I'm actually heading home, she said. But if I pass by again, I might stop and see you. So they stayed out all night. Peter saw the sun coming up and realized that he had been trick-or-treating all night. It was time. It was time. He saw the sun coming up and realized he'd been trick-or-treating all night. It was time to go home. He waved goodbye and continued on his way. Until he returned to the following day, he kept thinking about his conversation with his mom. He got to his locker until he found his book bag was missing. He looked around and saw Chad standing nearby. Hey, said Chad. You lose your book bag? Yeah, Tony replied. You happen to see it anywhere? Chad shook his head. Sorry, man. Alright, I guess the story's about Timmy now, even though the story's called Peter Panda Goes Trick-or-Treating. He cursed under his breath as he reached into his coat pocket and pulled out the last bit of candy he had left. Wasn't enough to even fill half a pillowcase. He pulled out from his pocket, and it wasn't even enough to fill half the pillowcase? Yeah, that makes sense. It's in his pocket. He knew he wouldn't be able to sleep until he had another piece of chocolate. Listen, Chad. You're still out there. I'd love to join you. Timmy smiled. Okay, let's meet at the library, but hurry up. I need some sleep. So Timmy's staying up all night as well. Jumping out behind the couch and saying boo with his mom, which sounds really lame, but whatever. Whatever floats your boat, Timmy. I don't know what's up with Chad. Timmy went to the library with Chad to see what wanted. I'm just gonna put these 58 characters because I just want to know what's going on. Alright, and send it. Looks at Chad. It looks like Halloween all year round. All year round in here. I mean, not. He thought that Chad looked handsome in his costume. What's your plans, Chad? Gonna sit here and read all night? Yeah, I guess, answered Timmy. Nothing else I can do anyways. I can help you out, offers Chad. If you want, I could stay with you till sunrise. They're at school at night? Thanks, said Timmy. It would really help me out. No problem, said Chad. It's not like I have anything better to do. That's supposed to be funny, demanded Timmy. Why? You expect me to say no? Chad smirked. I didn't mean that. Chad raised an eyebrow. You know what I meant, said Timmy. Of course I know what you meant. I don't know what they meant. What the heck's going on? So, Timmy and Chad spent the whole night together in the library, reading books and eating candy. Alright, that's 95 characters. It was almost 6 o'clock when Timmy finally finished his book. Oh no, said Timmy. Now what am I going to do? Keep reading, said Chad. Maybe you'll find something you enjoy. Alright, agreed Timmy. He flipped open his book and started to read. Chad sat beside him for a while, trying to figure out which book to pick up. What are you looking for? Said Timmy. Something scary? No, it's a children's story. No, said Chad. I'm more into science fiction. Weird, Timmy shrugged. We might as well look through them together. They walked to the science fiction section and started shifting through the shelves. Chad picked up a book titled The Doctor's Dilemma. Timothy took one called Beyond Reality. After a few minutes, they both looked bored. They're struggling to find anything worth reading. I should probably leave, said Chad. So should I, said Timmy. They both left the library and started walking home. I'm just sending these 77 characters. Chad's dad parked a car in their driveway. Chad walked up and got inside. Timmy stood on the sidewalk. You sure you don't want to come in? Said Chad. Sure, Timmy answered. I could use a drink of water. Need anything else? Some water will be fine. Hey, here you go. Chad handed Timmy 2 bottles of water, put one bottle in his coat pocket, and drank it down. One in his pocket? He made sure to lick his lips after. You gotta make sure to lick your lips. You wouldn't want to drink water without licking your lips. That would be just freaking crazy. See you tomorrow, said Chad. Good night. Then he went back to his house, got ready for bed. As he climbed beneath his covers, he thought about how much fun he had with Chad. Or he would get another book from the library and try to finish this one before Timmy had returned. After a restless night's sleep, Timmy was jolted awake by the sound of his alarm clock. With blurry eyes, Timmy noticed that he turned off his lamp and fallen asleep without turning. Was that 2 random ones? Yeah, I think it was. Some characters. Alright. We're going to do 3 randomizations. So that's a lot of words. The rest of my sleep, Timmy was jolted awake by the sound of his alarm clock. With blurry eyes, Timmy noticed that he had turned off his lamp and fallen asleep without turning it back on. He groaned, rolled out of bed, and staggered into the bathroom. As soon as he stepped in front of the mirror, he gasped. His face looked puffy and red. His hair was sticking straight up. Timmy hadn't slept well. But he never looked this bad. He washed his face, brushed his teeth, and applied his makeup. He then put on his uniform and headed downstairs. By the time he arrived at school, he felt much better. Okay. Chad was waiting for him. Library, book in hand. It was a science fiction novel titled The Experiment. This is it, said Chad. I think you're gonna love it. He frowned. Are you sure? Yes, said Chad. It's great. Fine, said Timmy. Get going then. The 2 boys walked over to the library. When they reached the sci-fi section, Timmy stopped suddenly. What's wrong? Nothing, said Timmy. I just saw my mom. She's here? Asked Chad. Yeah, said Timmy. I was looking for her yesterday. She told me that she was working today. Well, if you see her, tell her to come home early, suggested Chad. She looks tired. I will, said Timmy. He scanned the shelves, hoping to spot her. Hey, Timmy, said Chad. You seen your mother here yet? No, answered Timmy. I haven't even found her. That's too bad, said Chad. Let's go somewhere else. To the fancy section, began searching through the shelves. A minute later, Timmy spotted his mother. She was sitting on a bench next to the sci-fi section, smoking a cigarette. Her hair was messy and her clothes disheveled. He held his breath as he approached her. Hello, Mom, he said, taking a seat next to her. Hello, sweetie, said his mom. Who is that boy you were talking to? Alright. 68 characters. I think that's enough. Mom said to me, that's Chad. Okay, said his mom. Chad, Chad, that's nice. He must have really liked your book. Actually, I finished it last night. Really, said his mom. You read all that in one night? Uh-huh, answered Timmy. I loved it. You did? Said his mom. How sweet. Well, I'll see you later. Enjoy the rest of your day now. Okay, said Timmy. He watched his mom disappear behind a stack of books. As soon as she was gone, Chad took a seat behind him. You know, said Chad, your mom seems like a cool lady. Thanks, said Timmy, I guess. But you don't have to worry about her being mad at us. We didn't do what she wanted. I know, said Chad. I'm not worried about anything like that. Timmy smiled. It was nice to hear that Chad was so concerned about what his mom might think. They sat there quietly for several minutes until Chad said, so how are you enjoying the sci-fi novel? It's good, said Timmy. I still can't believe how fast I read it. We've always been able to do that, said Chad. Remember when you used to devour books faster than anyone else? Yeah, said Timmy. Eating books. Alright, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go into the advanced settings. Maybe it's the sliders. We're going to turn up the randomness. Because we're not getting much horror. Timmy finished his book and decided Timmy finished his book and enjoyed hanging out with his enjoyed a day hanging out with his friend. Then we're going to put 5 of these kids in each chapter. We're going to put next Halloween. Jimmy. Peter. And Chad. I'm going to send that in. This is next Halloween. Maybe things will pop off. And send it. Next Halloween, Timmy, Peter, and Chad set up a scarecrow in front of the old house. Timmy had taken the old mannequin head from Chad's garage and attached it to the scarecrow. They chose to dress the scarecrow in a ripped white shirt, black pants, and boots. Wearing a large floppy hat on top, and had a small cross necklace. Finally, they draped the scarecrow in sheets and placed it behind their front porch. Thus, they opened their blinds to watch as children and parents streamed past the scarecrows. They laughed with delight, screamed, and made all sorts of threats towards the trio. A bunch of rotten kids shouted one logo who ran by. Curse you, yelled a teenage boy. Went outside every hour trying to frighten the same group of kids. In the end, though, there was no need to make more trips around the neighborhood. The group of 5 costumes monsters scared everyone off before the sun could even set. Chad was thrilled and relieved to accomplish the task. But driving to work the following morning, Timmy heard someone honking their horn. He glanced up quickly and saw a car full of teenagers was screeching its way through a red light. Stop the car, cried Timmy. Huh? Said his dad. What did you say? Timmy looked ahead and realized the signal was green. He pulled into the street and stepped on the gas pedal. 2 seconds later, the car sped right past them without slowing down. I thought his dad was getting hit by a car again. He's already dead. No, he's here. It's Halloween. Timmy remained calm as he continued moving forward. Nothing, said Timmy. There's just something funny that happened to me last night. After you see that group of kids speeding, then we got direction last night. Car? No, said his father. I was stuck at home working on the basement again. Sorry, Timmy. We're lucky they didn't hit us, said Timmy. Imagine if they smashed into one of those side streets and killed somebody. This is supposed to be a children's story, I just remembered. That would be terrible. Said his father. Are you kids going trick or treating again this year? Question mark. Back on trick or treating. I tried to get Peter Panda back into this, but now we're just on Timmy. Your dad answered Timmy. Why wouldn't we? Why are we at the school? Principal Raywood? 2 arrived at the school where Timmy hopped onto the elevator. The senior class was gathered together in the hallway. They looked nervous. Timmy followed them as far as he could. There's another large crowd inside. Alright, I'm gonna go into the story. Peter, Panda, and Timmy Hopper are going trick or here is and masturbates in front of cats. Timmy has a crush on Chad. Peter has a crush on Melinda's Andy. Alright, cool. I'm gonna do this again. And hope we don't end up back in a school. He shook his head. No, he said. In fact, thought we're not going anymore. We're tired of people yelling at us. Get out of the road and making fun of us. Don't worry, said his mother. Kids will come around. Soon enough, they'll realize how lame they look. Maybe so, said Timmy. To get some costumes that make sense. I really hope they start watching where they're going next time. Are they going trick-or-treating? The school starts 2 weeks later. Timmy and Chad found themselves seated together in a classroom filled with mostly 6th graders. Mr. Balikny was standing in front of the room, looking like he'd never been happier. So after careful thought and consideration, said Mr. Bellick, the 3rd grade class has elected you boys as their student representatives. You may address any questions to either of you. Timmy knew exactly what to expect once he took control over the class. Saw there was another kid already doing whatever he wanted. This isn't about Peter. It's about school again. It's not a horror. It's not a horror story. It's about Peter and Chad, or no, Timmy and Chad. I'm gonna put Peter in the author's note. Alright, Timmy knew exactly what to expect. He took control over the class and told him there was another kid already doing what he really wanted. But he also let everyone think that the person responsible had died in the fire. Then when Timmy used their classmates to gain control of the school, he used all the gossip to keep himself busy while he waited. Of course, there was always the chance that someone figured it out before then. But that would just mean they had to create another corpse? Or do you want the death, said Chad. He scrunched his face up in thought. He tried to go into detail about what the school might look like once he got rid of the students. Why is he getting rid of the students? Peter Panda burst into the room in a mummy costume. Let's get that candy, boys. Peter shouted. Alright. When we get back to Peter Panda, he really wants to go trick-or-treating. He dove onto Timmy, his hands dug deeply into his neck. Timmy felt helpless and angry. He wanted his friends back. He helped him defeat the goblins in the basement. Now he was alone against an unstoppable force. If only he hadn't been too chicken to tell him the truth. He shouldn't have allowed himself to become curious and go looking for the trolls. What kind of friend would he be if he abandoned them now that they needed him? He pulled out his phone and called his mother. Alright. Mommy said, tell me, please, how does a child die after a house fire? Well, Timmy, he replied calmly, usually they don't survive, or maybe they've suffocated. It depends. But generally speaking, it's because the smoke from the fire gets into their lungs. Timmy looked at her in shock. This wasn't supposed to happen. They suffocate? He asked. Yes, sweetie, she said sadly. What? You want to talk about it? Timmy nodded silently. After a few minutes, she hung up. Timmy put his phone away and faced Peter. Why'd you do this to me? Peter laughed wildly. The sound echoed throughout the entire hallway. He even disturbed the girls who entered the building that morning. A couple of them ran from the office to tell their parents there was this crazy man in the hallway shouting obscenities loud enough to be heard above the lunchroom buzz. Cause I want candy. Said Peter Panda. But you are too busy to spend time with me. Trick or hopefully it says trick or treat. Trick or I can type trick or treat. Then hopefully it puts a T on the end. Because I want candy, said Peter Panda, but you are too busy to spend time with me trick-or-treating. And you know my tricks won't work here. He scrunched his eyes closed and gritted his teeth. Peter's words didn't hurt. His presence did. Who are you talking to? Me, said Peter. And only me. Do you understand? I'm the master of this place. Now you can call the principal. You probably need to anyways. You left your father at home again. You don't take your father to school. A couple of days passed until he hadn't heard a word from anybody. He didn't? What about Halloween? Tim was certain he could hear laughter in the halls. Couldn't concentrate on homework. He spent all day sitting and staring at the floor, wishing he was anywhere else. Mother finally told him that he shouldn't worry about Peter. She said she'd gone to see Mr. Irvin, the vice president of the local bank, and the mayor himself was given permission to hire more help to take care of Timmy after school. Timmy, she said. Is Peter Panda a monster? Mr. Melvin wants you to make good friends with one of your new teachers. He said you'll both benefit from each other tremendously if you cooperate. Will the teacher be nice? Asked Timmy. He kissed his forehead and walked away. Timmy listened to our footsteps as they receded down the long hallway, leading out of the office, until he heard nothing but the drone of a couple of cars passing by outside. That night, Timmy packed all his stuff quietly under the guise of going out late that afternoon. He realized the only way to get Peter to leave him alone was to sneak out and trick or treat. I his friends. Hi, friends. It was cool and sunny when he arrived at school. He had dressed up as a knight. He found it in some old costume bin in the basement. He figured he would wear whatever he liked best. Some of the older kids teased him about being gay. There's a pretty girl he knew who smiled encouragingly at him. She whispered to Timmy, "I wish you were gay." But as he hurried through the parking lot and directed the car, he wondered why she never invited him to hang out with them. When he got to the corner where he normally got his ride, his dad wasn't there. Timmy sighed and started walking toward the first bus stop. Several people complimented him on his outfit and wished him a happy Halloween. Many of them asked if he had a hot date. Timmy politely ignored these remarks and walked to the bench by the mailbox. A kid named Charlie Bateman sat across from him. "Hey," said Charlie, "do you have any fun plans for tonight?" Timmy shook his head. Made eye contact with a pretty blonde walking down the street. "Okay. I think we have one more." She waved at him as she passed by, and said, "Don't worry, all the hot ones will be going out tonight." She disappeared around the corner. "That's nice," said Timmy. It actually kind of upset him. He felt let down. He wondered what she meant by that. Where would she know anyone like that? The blonde girl looked familiar, but he had no idea who she might be. He watched her until she vanished behind a large oak tree in someone's backyard garden. I don't know how to type and add things to this. Peter emerged from the bushes, dressed as Timmy's dead dad. Peter emerged from the bushes dressed as Timmy's dead dad's body. Look familiar, said Peter. I think you're cute. Charlie turned to face Peter. Jimmy did the same. Both boys' jaws dropped in unison. Peter took a step forward, grinning. You should thank me because I've done so much research in your little situation, he said. Do you want to go to the movies or something this weekend? He reached inside his jacket. He was holding Timmy's dad's razor blade, pressed it against his forearm. Blood welled quickly, soaking up the fabric beneath the skin. Peter, what the heck is wrong with you? Peter lifted the blood-soaked hand to reveal 2 parallel cuts running along his wrist and dripping onto the ground. The blood was an experiment, said Peter. I tried a number of different substances, but yours was the most satisfying to work with. Maybe you're not as attractive as I thought, but you do bleed well. I tell you, once upon a time, a boy with this much power attempted to make himself the center of attention. He wanted to change the world, to rule it, and love the people within it. What the heck is going on? But he failed miserably, and he died and became forgotten. Don't become his ghost. Be better than he ever was. Jesus gets wisely. Do exactly as I say, and you may even survive this. His dad held up his arm to shield his eyes from the setting sun. See here, he said. I'm not Timmy Popper's father. I'm Timmy Panda, the king of the island of pumpkins. This is my son, Timmy. Now let's knock on some doors. And get some candy. He yelled. Peter Panda. Are they going trick-or-treating now? They're cutting their wrists. They rushed over to one house. It was guarded by a large black dog whose hair bristled. They saw the boys approach. Knocked you. What the heck is that? Alright. Knock, bark, moo. Bellowed the giant wolf. The huge beast lumbered back inside with the light of its small glowing orange eyes revealing it had once been the local boy's father. The dog turned off the light to save electricity. The last door was closed, and all the neighbors had given out their treats. Peter hugged him close and whispered into his ear, "Oh no, what's he gonna say? There's nowhere else I'd rather be except with you." Charlie stared at him a moment longer, mouth agape. "Whoa," he said. "What?" Timmy was startled too. Timmy patted Peter on the shoulder. "You're a nut job," he said. "Have fun." Peter turned and ran up the street. When he finally managed to run all the way home, his mother answered the door. "Where have you been?" "Why didn't you answer your phone?" "I'm sorry," Mommy replied. "I went trick-or-treating early today." His mom frowns. "I knew I shouldn't have left you alone with them. How come they're already home?" His mother hadn't said a word about that part of his costume. There were other kids with them too. Not just the two boys. Their eyes glittered in the firelight. 2 girls stood near the fireplace with Peter. One was dressed as his sister, while the other wore a long robe. Looked almost like a princess. Peter and Timmy smiled. What did I do wrong the first time? Peter and Timmy smiled. Their friendship had been fixed, and they lived happily ever after. The end. I think it was a happy ending. It said, I love knock, bark, moo, bellowed the giant wolf, and then the dog turned off the light to save electricity. What light? Inside with the light of its small glowing orange eyes. So I guess the light in his eyes turned it off, you know, to save electricity. I want someone to like piece through that mess and see if they can find a comprehensive story out of all that, because that was absolutely insane. Alright. There's one more thing we're gonna do with AI tonight. We're going to do so we have a random superpower generator. We have a random martial arts generator. And we have Discord Fighting Championship of Awesome. If I can do, like, so, similar to the thing we did last time. Moving that whole thing. Let me get off on this. We have me, Skinnier Steve, Sticks, Sky, Big Jake, Number Blue, Dan Master, Livy Live, Braun, Big Jake, Andrew, Top Gear, Max Thunder, Pointless Tie, Charlie. I think all these people are in the Discord. So if one of them wins a championship, like the next runner-up is gonna have to get it, or Savannah. This is to determine if we get a new champion and a new king of, or champion of awesomeness in the Discord. So first off, actually I need to open Gray Office right here. So I can keep track. So let's start. We'll start bottom right last time because I think we started over here. We're gonna start with Ty and Charlie. Ty. Yeah. so let's start by giving Ty a random superpower. Oh wait. Alright. So Ty is a mighty warrior who, or Ty is a mighty warrior with hooves instead of feet, with powerful hooves. Instead, let's do a weapon instead. How about martial arts? Alright. He wields a golden rapier created for decoration. But the blade is strong. With a blunt edge. It has an average weight. And is not to be underestimated. Alright, so now Charlie has a power. He's a vampire. Charge Low is a vampire. He also wields iron sickle. That was created for combat. It is slightly off balanced, but can be effectively used by a master. Alright. These are our two warriors for the starting battle. Let's go novel AI. Get rid of all this. Put Ty's information. Wait, not authors. That in here. Put Charlie's in. Over here as well. Alright, now this will be
understand what's going on here.
I think we'll just have it be the regular one, no module. Two men are set to fight to the death in a
Give me a break. Give me a break.
what should I put here? What does this say? In a Discord fighting
I don't understand what's going on here.
championship of right here of awesomeness.
Give me a break. Give me a break.
Both men are masters of combat and determined to win tournament. They are also very brave and have a hatred for one another. Tie and charge low. Oh wait, we need to randomize the location of the fight.
What's going on? What's going on? I don't understand.
Pawn shop. Tie and charge low are set to fight to the death in an arena that looks like a pawn shop. Is designed
I don't understand
to
what's going on here.
look like a pawn shop. It is full of glass cases containing various tools, weapons. The two men charge at each other, ready for combat. Death. Let's do this. Two fighters who set to fight to the death. Both are masters of combat and determined to win the tournament. Also very brave. They are also fearless and have a hatred for one another. Then we'll make that its own thing, and then we'll just delete the middle bit. Two fighters charge each other, ready for combat to the death. Then we'll just send it right there. All of Ty's power, strength, and speed will be useless against the well-trained charge low. His master knows it best. And that is why he takes advantage of the situation to inflict as much pain on his enemy as possible. Charge low makes sure to do so using any weapon he can find, while still getting enough rest during training or to keep up with his superior opponent. Ty swings the sword charge low to strike him. He uses all his might to swing his weapon while aiming for the vital parts of his foe, such as their neck, or upper body. Oh yes, the vital upper body. The blade point strikes his enemy several times, so they can no longer take more damage. From these blows, Virgil swings his sickle, which catches Ty in the chest and pulls him closer towards his own weapon. Ty's face smashes into his blade, breaking it in half. Ty turns to dust. So I don't think any of that matters. Ty has been turned to dust. So Ty, once again, loses in the very first fight to Charlie. I don't know who he lost to last time, but he didn't last very long last time either. So Chargelo is easily moving on, and Ty, unfortunately, has died in the first round. Let me post something about this in the Discord. I did the children's story idea. And now I'm doing a fighting tournament. Alright. Ty's been turned to dust. Get rid of that part. Get rid of this part. Get rid of that part. We can fill that in. Alright, now. Who's next? Pointless and Max Thunder. So Max Thunder and Pointless. Alright. So, what is Max Thunder's power? Power armor. Max Thunder wears a suit of power armor into combat. Max Thunder is a warrior who wears a suit of power armor into combat. What weapon does he have? Wow, Max Thunder sounds awesome. He also uses a ceremonial Obsidian battle axe. Axe has a wide rose edge and an insignia on one side. While deadly, it is heavy, unbalanced, and is uncomfortable to hold. Should I do a martial art as well? Because I feel like we're missing out. Martial arts are awesome. Give him a martial art. That actually has axe. Let's give Max Thunder that one. Max is a master of paw to axe. A flashy style of martial arts based on clarity of perception and known for high kicks. Who wears So Tai is a master of Hakyu Acts, a flashy style of martial arts based on clarity of perception and known for high kicks, who wears a suit of power armor into combat. He also uses a ceremonial obsidian battle axe. The axe has a wide rose edge, insignia on one side. While deadly, it is heavy, unbalanced, and is uncomfortable to hold. Alright. Let's give Charlie one, because he didn't have one. Charlie is a vampire and also a master of Hua to Dud, a ceremonial martial arts based on inner harmony and known for prose. And Pointless. Oh, Pointless hasn't been even started yet. Alright, let's do his martial arts first. Let's do his superpower first. Pointless can fire bullets from his fingers. Pointless. Yeah. Pointless can fire bullets from his fingers. I feel like that's a little overpowered. Alright, so let's look at his martial arts. Chu staff. Pointless is a master of Chu staff. An aggressive martial arts. Copy this. Can also fire bullets from his finger. I'll type this not in this text document so you can see it. Also fire bullets from his fingers. Oh yeah, I need, I was wondering what was missing. I'm missing the weapon. It also uses a marble staff. A weird weapon. Created for practice. A long time ago. It was once used to slay a fearsome foe. It is narrower at the end. And very heavy. It is best used for sweeping. Attacks. Alright, copy. Paste. Pointless in here. And max. And oh yeah, we need to, that's what we need. Put that in here. Memory. Alright. So, Max, or Pointless, is a master of Hugh Chi Staff, an aggressive martial arts style, specializing in the flow of personal energy and featuring grappling. He can also fire bullets from his fingers. He also uses a marble staff, created for practice a long time ago. It was once used to slay a fearsome foe. No, either. Fearsome foe. It is narrow at the end and is very heavy. It is best used for sweeping attack. Max Thunder is a master of Hawkui Axe, flashy style of martial arts based on clarity of perception, and known for high kicks. Max Thunder wears a suit of power armor into combat. He also uses a ceremonial obsidian battle axe. The axe has a wide rose edge, insignia on one side. While deadly, it is heavy, unbalanced, and is uncomfortable to hold. Two fighters are set to fight to the death in a Discord Fighting Championship of Awesomeness. Both are masters of combat, determined to win the tournament. They are also fearless, have a hatred for one another. Pointless and Max are set to fight to the death in an arena that is designed like a forest. With many trees and thorn bushes scattered throughout. Something growling can be heard in the distance. Both. Oh wait, that says that there. Pointless and Max charge other and charge each other, determined to kill. Oh wait, two fighters charge. Oh wait, I don't even have to type that. Because the two fighters charge each other and other ready for combat to the death. Alright, sending it. Pointless launches off to a forward somersault before coming up, running across the arena with a fierce grin on his face. Max Thunder lifts one leg up as he makes an explosive jump after Pointless. He comes down, firing his laser blaster into the ground. Pointless spins around, taking advantage, being stationary while Max is airborne. His kicks come flying left, right, and center, all while keeping his eyes on Max, who keeps coming forward with his blast of laser energy, hitting the ground next to Pointless's legs, making him crash to the ground, where he stays put, rolling to get back on his feet. Alright, so lasers? Pointless comes down. Pointless can shoot bullets from his fingers. It's making that like a laser blaster. Wait, what is this? My text sounds admiring. I guess so. Both fighters trade shots in the first few minutes, but it soon comes to a matter of defense as both start blocking the opponent's attacks and then counterattacking them. Looks like Pointless will emerge victorious unless laser blast, laser shot, laser beam, laser ray of light. Each of the opponents continue to blast away with their weapons while trying to find the opening needed to get the victory. Points, Endless takes a blast from Max. Points. Points, Endless. I mean, Pointless. Pointless takes a blast from Max. Thunder. Sending a blast of red energy and sparks all over the arena. When the dust clears, there are no traces left behind of either fighter. What they're fighting against is still unknown. Nobody thought it was a cheap move. Pointless sounds incredulous. Both fighters remain at their posts, waiting for an audience member to get picked. You know, I've never been more scared of you, Pointless. I don't care if we're playing poker or the next stage of our lives. This is scary, real scary. What? No, none of this. Let's go back to here. Because now they're talking about playing poker. It's like Pointless will be emerging victorious unless then Pointlessly makes his move by jumping at Max, the force behind the jump giving him enough momentum to grab hold of Max Thunder. Then as Max is trying to regain some composure from the landing from the kicks, Pointless goes full throttle on the kicking front, tries to push Max against the ropes, but fails. What ropes? Max Thunder takes one more attempt to free himself from the relentless barrage of kicks from Pointlessly and succeeds in his bid to break loose. The two now square themselves off with their fists raised. Where are their weapons? A loud roar can be heard from somewhere near where Pointless is holding Max. Turns around to find a beast with razor-sharp claws and glowing red eyes coming straight at Pointless. Ferocious snarls echo through the arena, causing Max to spin on his heel. See it charging at him too. Both combatants roll out of the way, just as the beast with fiery breath and burning tail charges toward Pointless. It shoves the attacking creature away with its large paws, causing it to crash into Max and knocking him on his back again. Now, probably both gonna die to the beast. They both died last time, and then one came back to life. Points moves quickly, but he doesn't have much time to do so, as the creatures attack at almost the same time. Points jumps at the beast's face and try to leap at him. With a good amount of speed, he places his foot on the beast's head before pushing back, sending it crashing into the wall. Max is looking for a gap to escape from the arena. He sees Pointless is up. Points charges the beast, charging face, roaring at the top of his lungs. The two beasts rush him. There's two beasts now? But one beast slips due to his weight as he slips on the tile floor. Pointless knocks the second beast, came with the first out of the way, was fallen on Max, causing the warrior to go into a defenseless posture, protecting himself as he prepares to fend the other off. Max uses the fall from the impact against it, and uses an explosive blast of fire from his finger, which explodes on the ground. Wait, Max shoots bullets now? I mean, he has a... I don't know. Dealing massive damage to it, leaving only its skeletal remains. Battle 1, Pointless slumps against the arena floor, exhausted, while Max pulls himself to his feet, looking around. But Max win unless he kills Pointless. That points out. Suddenly both turn with the arena entrance is now open. The crowd comes flooding in with no regard to anyone else. People from the audience climb seats to get a better view to see the fights, if that means climbing over others. Two fighters watch the madness around. Wait, no. We don't need people throwing chairs. Max can't win unless he kills Pointless. Now kill him. Or Pointless needs to kill Max. Pointless gets up, slowly wiping the dirt off his chest plate. Points bends and stretches his arms over his head, touching the ceiling and getting the cobwebs out. He picks up his weapon and looks at it admiringly. Thanks for the challenge. I'm out, Pointless declares. He turns, he notices Max staring at him. Something about Max's stare that sets Pointless nerves on edge as he starts backing away. Fight to the death. You accept that? Max asks again. Pointless stops and turns. His breathing becomes rapid with nervousness. Yes. Alright. You accept that? Yes. The two men continue fighting to the death. Someone's gotta die. While the crowd bellow. Alright. Alright, it's talking about King and someone's a she. There's no she's, it's just Max. Pointless. X-Thunder is showing the sign of being experienced at this game. He has not shown any signs of killing Points. Points, too, has been taken heavy damage with numerous broken bones, fractures and gashes in different parts of his body. But it doesn't show in his face, which is the exact opposite. His expression is blank. His eyes seem empty. No one would know how much pain he's in. They didn't see it through their own eyes. It's another hit on Points, breaking one of his arms. Points gets a chance and finishes the fight by leaping over his foe, who falls unconscious. Max looks down at Points in shock to find no response from him. He checks to see that Points' eyes are open, but his body doesn't move. Points' heart is beating faster than normal as his head races, trying to compute the situation. Oh crap, Points mutters aloud to himself, and he realizes what happened. Points is already running away when Max raises his fist. Morpho floats towards Points as he starts making a break. Who's Morpho? No. Max Points gets a chance to finish hands and finishes the fight. Send. Does he kill him? Powerful punch to Max Thunder's solar plexus. Using his soul palm strike to send Max flying backwards to the wall behind him. There are audible cracks as he hits the wall. He spits blood and crumbles on the floor. Pointless walks forward to look down at Max Thunder, who's struggling to stay alive. All around there are flashes of lights and loud explosions, accompanied with screams of pain and people moving around the room. Goku appears and throws a lasso around Max's neck. Point stands by his dead opponent. Alright. There's nothing else for Points to do except for this. Points decides to release his energy and releases a sonic wave upon Max, stunning him. Alright. Oh no, looks like Max Thunder is up after all. Dang it! Stop bringing him back to life! He is dead! Oh wait, it's starting a new thing. No, Max is dead. Point stands by his dead opponent. Pointless wins. is really annoying because it can't even figure out what his name is. Now we gotta deal with him being called points every other sentence. Alright. So I am making an executive decision that I think it's 12 o'clock at midnight, which means no one's awake to come watch the stream, and also this format is much funner when we can actually play it with a bunch of people present. So, I am going to end it here. I'm probably continue this later. I might start over, honestly, if we're starting after only 2 fights. But it was fun while it lasted. But yeah, we haven't had anyone in chat all stream. It's been 2 hours. So yeah.